the goal at the end of the year is just to get better every match and grow. I'm going out there and want to whoop everybody, win every tournament, but look back on it and know that I just got as best as I could over this year and made improvements and just keep growing and keep getting, like everybody says, 1% better each day. And if I do that, everything else will take care of itself. So, but I would definitely say a bunch of our young guys that people don't even know what their names are, they're going to see them and they're going to realize that we got the depth and we got the really good guys too. Stepping up and, filling in their shoes where they left off and making sure there's not a gap of leadership and people that they can just look up to at the end of the day.
What's up, everybody? John Forster here, breakdown from the barn. With me, as always, the greatest mind in wrestling, Eric Winnuck. And we're going dragon style today. We got Luke Nichter. Luke, how you doing today? Doing good?
Doing great.
Nice. So what you been up to? What you've been up to in the summer, the off season? Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah, still training and everything. Nice thing at Drexel is we get to work during the summer. So I had a full 9-to-5 job all year. So, that was nice, fitting in wrestling with that too. And yeah, staying busy at the end of the day. It was nice watching some of the Phillies games, excited for them. Yeah.
Nice. Good stuff. The co-op's great. What were you doing? What were you doing as your job?
So I was doing sales this summer, which might not be the route for me, but it was good experience learning what I like, what I don't like, what I'm good at. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. The Drexel guys, I see them coming through, and girls, I think that co-op program is really good. It's better than get you the real world experience.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And Luke, you're smarter than John and I. We were grunts. We were out there working for Stu Cohen at Miller's Rentals, putting up his pages. So that was our gig. That's what we did. I gotta ask you, Luke, before I jump into my first question. How did you and your brother become wrestlers, considering your parents are ballers, man? That's gotta be tough on mom and pop.
So second grade, they give us this sheet in school, and I'm sitting there, and in my head, I'm like, I'm about to go to WWE and do all this crazy stuff. So I take it home, and my mom's like, ew, you're not wrestling, like ringworm and all that stuff. And I'm like, no, I want to wrestle. So I start wrestling, and Tate was actually too young because I guess they weren't going to let him start till second grade, but he started wrestling too in kindergarten. So they just threw us in there. I remember walked in the first day in jeans and socks and had nothing, no idea what I was doing, and just kind of kept it going from there, fell in love with it, and haven't done anything since. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. People ask me, because I'm 6'3", how'd you become a wrestler? And I remember I was on a CYO team, and I think I couldn't make a layup. And my pop was a football player. He's like, let's get you into wrestling. It's the same thing. My first day of practice, I think I bought these brand new ponies. We didn't know the idea about wrestling shoes. So, but I got the hang of it. I stuck with it. It ended up being a smart move for me. So, but speaking about wrestling, and for those that don't know, Tate, his brother, who's also on the roster, you had a really good year last year, 17-8. I think you placed 5th in the AIWA. So obviously, we're going to talk later about the redshirt situation, but what are your goals for the season? Are you looking to get bigger, just keep training? Obviously, you've got some great practice partners we're going to get into, but just walk us through what your goals are for this redshirt season.
So goal right now is I'm going to go up to 57, working on getting bigger, getting up there. Cause in high school, I was 170, 160. So
yep.
Going to get up to that weight and see how I do from there. And yeah, so my goal is get up around 170 ish, stay around 57, and then finish off my college career there. And yeah.
And you definitely
get easier than making 49.
Any any plans on competition this year? Any big?
Yeah, so first one we're planning Princeton Open. I think that's the 5th. So that's the plan. And my big tournament this year is going to be Scuffle. I'm going to go out there and try to make some noise, win that. I mean, the goal at the end of the year is just to get better every match and grow. I'm going out there and want to whoop everybody, win every tournament, but look back on it and know that I just got as best as I could over this year and made improvements and just keep growing and keep getting, like everybody says, 1% better each day. And if I do that, everything else will take care of itself. So
nice. So specifically, because you had some really good cool moments last year. I've been watching the Austin Gomez it earlier, and it was pretty exciting stuff. But you talk about getting better and improving. But specifically, is there specific pieces you want to improve on the mat during your redshirt season, or is just kind of go balls to the wall and just let chips fall where they may?
Yeah, I think a little last year I got in a little routine, and I even heard some people saying that we're like, all right, if you just don't get thrown or give up a big move, then you'll be fine. And I've always looked at that like, I'm like, can't say that. I'll still beat you every other way, but going out there and proving that, I can still put up 15 points without turning you. I can do all that stuff without throwing you, and just making that known that when kids go out there and just try to avoid an underhook, that's not going to work for them. Just building on my game, making sure that I'm not one dimensional. I kind of, everybody wants to pin everybody. So there would be some matches last year where I'd be like, you know what, I'm going to go out here, pin this kid in the first period. And then when that didn't happen, the plan kind of falls apart. So just, staying really disciplined and just battling every second, staying in there, building on my game, and just, yeah, staying in the fight the whole time.
Yeah, and it's funny because I hear that a lot, especially from guys like yourselves who had really good high school careers. Like I said, I think you were a state champ in PA at 160. You're the main man in the room, and then you come in at a Division I level, and you think you can continue to do things you were doing, kind of through the youth and high school, and it works sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. So I think that's a really mature kind of observation to say, you know what, I think it's me. I got to drill into work on those specifics, learn how to wrestle a full match. And I joke around. I said, learn how to wrestle. That's what you got to learn. I think it's all good stuff.
Yeah, at the end of the day, at this level, everybody's good. Everybody works hard. Everybody's ready to fight for 7 minutes, and your talent will only take you so far. So just, really understanding that. You can see it with, some of our freshmen that come in, they're understanding that now too. They were really, really good in high school, and now they're, losing by 10 points in the room, and just understanding that, everybody's good, and you got to be ready for everybody at any moment. So.
Nice. Awesome. So want to bring up a name, Tom Rubino, former Drexel wrestler. You probably don't know him, but he's like 60 years old, and this guy's still in jiu-jitsu 2-3 days a week, still wrestles. Animal, man. He won our breakdown from the barn pool to get you in as a NIL athlete. Don't quit your day job. Wasn't a lot of money, but got you some gear, got you a little bit of cash. But got a couple questions from him. We want to go through these next ones. He wants to know, how's the Drexel team looking this year? How are they looking?
It's going to be exciting, a bunch of young guys and new faces. So there's definitely going to be a lot of kids to make some noise, and just watching these young kids grow and just get better throughout the year is going to be really exciting, and helping them in any way I can, being there as a leader for them, and just, maybe holding their hand through some difficult situations, and just showing them, how to succeed at this level. Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned some young names. Anyone we should have our eye on? Maybe someone that we don't know about that's going to break through. What are you thinking?
I mean, you guys probably heard Cody Walsh. He's not really young, but he hasn't really started on our team yet. But I would expect some big things out of him. And our freshmen are in there battling. Josiah's great. He's in there battling with Cody every day. But I would definitely say a bunch of our young guys that people don't even know what their names are, they're going to see them, and they're going to realize that we got the depth and we got the really good guys too. So,
and Cody's got he comes from a wrestling family as well, Jersey guy. He's got a brother, I think, at IU. Obviously, we know the Walsh from Ryder. So we're looking through the roster. You're absolutely right. A good, young, solid team, I think, coming up. I think you guys have a lot to look forward to, but you did lose some leadership. Okay. You think of guys like Barzak or Malley, Bonino. You mentioned Cody Walsh. Anybody that you see outside of yourself kind of going that upper level, upperclassmen who are going to take over the leadership role. So it's good to have young, solid talent, but you always need those leaders. So who's going to step up this year and take that role?
Definitely, I'm trying my best. Kyle Waterman also, him and I are kind of in the same situation this year. He's planning on redshirting. So our main goal this year, we were talking with is, lead by example and be the leaders on the team. Because like you said, Bonino, Barzak, and O'Malley, I mean, we couldn't have asked for better leaders. They let us in the room, off the mat. They did everything they could right, and you could look at them and follow them. So, it's weird going into the room. First day of practice without those guys, it was very weird. I don't know how to explain it. It was just weird. So, stepping up and, filling in their shoes where they left off, and making sure there's not a gap of leadership and people that they can just look up to at the end of the day.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about, I know you guys share an RTC with Penn RTC. I know a lot of guys train there. How's it training over there?
It's great. I mean, picking up wrestling with Joey McKenna, Doug Zaff, Tyler Berger as much as I can. Can't I don't know. I don't know what other colleges are doing, but I can't imagine better partners that I have in a 5-minute walk than there. I mean, even Jordan Burroughs. I mean, I don't wrestle with him, but watching the way he trains and just how intentional he is, I get better from just watching him. So just being around them and watching what they do with their day and their lives and even their families, it's just great leadership to look up to and great guys to just be around in general. Yeah.
Yeah, echoing that statement, we had CJ Composto, a Westfield wrestler who's obviously All-American at UPenn. He said very similar things about that room. Mentioned the same thing, McKenna, just what Jordan Burroughs brings, even if you don't wrestle him, just his aura and his leadership and how it makes everyone better people. Okay, so I think you're spot on from that statement. So now moving on to the Drexel practice room, and obviously you threw some names out there and you talked about the young guys coming in, but it's interesting when you say you lose that leaders out of the room and it feels different. So what's the practice room like now? Is it intense? Because I think you kind of hinted at that with some of the new guys. I think that's what you see when you have a lot of hotshot freshmen come in. It really adds a little spark to the room. So talk us about the Drexel room.
It's great. We're in there. I mean, our slogan is heat, heart, effort, attitude, and team. So really stressing that, even if you come in and you're a little sore or whatever, 100% effort. That's all people can ask. And, like I was saying, some of these freshmen, they come in and battle every day, but it's different than high school. And there is days where you're like, oh, I'm not feeling this. I don't want to do that. And just showing them through leadership that, you just 100% effort every day. That's all people can ask for. And yeah, I mean, we're building. We had matches today. Intensity was great. Everybody was ready to wrestle, scrapping. And yeah, it's really exciting. I couldn't have asked for at least the energy in the room, and everybody's attitude is great and everyone wants to get better.
Yep. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you got this high flying style, a lot of throws, a lot of big moves. How did that develop growing up?
Well, I would always wrestle freestyle, and my coach was a big I never want to wrestle Greco, but he was like, listen, you're wrestling Greco. You're wrestling Greco no matter what, because it's going to help you in the long run. And I never saw that. But now, I mean, I don't do anything fancy, but it's just learning those situations and putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. Like, I didn't want to wrestle Greco, but doing that for 5-6 years has helped me at this point. And just, yeah, I mean, understanding the upper body situations and you just got to go for it at the end of the day. You can't get up there and be like, oh, like I'm going to throw this kid. No, you got to throw him before you even think that. So just get in there ready to fly. And at the end of the day, I like putting on a show. I like people watching and oohing and on and talking about me and all that. So it's the best way to do it. And I like doing that. So
yeah, it's good. It's a good thing you're hitting there, pounding the Greco style, because I know that's something as a country and as USA Wrestling program, I think it's something obviously we can build on. We developed one hell of a freestyle team on the international level, but definitely developing that Greco, I think, is a key kind of for all our young wrestlers. So you mentioned obviously a lot of guys already. A couple more names, CJ, Matt Azavido. Talk to us about those guys in the room, and if you get to roll with those guys.
They're great. CJ's different. I love him. He's fights MMA and just comes in and he's always ready to go. He's doing 3 practices a day and we're not even realizing it. And he has some of the highest energy in the room in the morning. And like, he had his fight last weekend. He's in there Monday with us, lifting, helping us out. And it's just, he's always there. He's always here. Anything we need, go for him. I can go in his office whenever I want. Just, it's great to have him as a coach, but also as a friend. So it's great like that. And, as also great leader, talks about everything he talks about with from weight to effort to attitude, it's all right. And just really listening to him and keeping that open line of communication and being able to like trust in him and go with him what I need. It's great. I couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, cool, man, cool. And you're living large in Philly right now. What do you do off the mat? What do you usually do when you're not wrestling?
Well, in season is a little different. I sit down, play my video games, don't really do anything too crazy, but as soon as the season's over, I like going out, fishing, doing all that stuff, and just, getting out of the house, going out, going to the beach. I got a beach house in Wildwood, so it's only an hour 15, hour 20, get down there as much as I can. Yeah, just going out, living life, having fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, awesome, man. Glad to have you on the show. We're going to be following you, this year, making some big noise as a red shirt and coming back those next couple of years. Hopefully get on that podium, get that All-American spot for Drexel. Love the Drexel.
Philly Nationals 2024.
You got it. Let's bring the heat, right? Bring the heat.
Can't wait.
Make sure you guys follow the show, and we're out of here.